I didn't build Moonlight to look pretty, though she turned out that way. She was shaped with borrowed tools, cold fingers, and some beautiful hewn pine in a shed by Lake Trevellyn. I wasn't just building a boat, I was building a way of life. She still slices through the water like no time has passed. 45 years on and she's still holding her line. But this voyage isn't just about miles, it's about bringing Moonlight home. From Queensland to Tasmania. Down a highway, we're charting the journey and tracking every bit of support along the way. Once she's home, we'll launch a new series, 5 voyages through Tasmania's quiet waters. Your ideas, your coastline, your boat too if you choose to join in. If you'd like early access or just to be part of the story, the links are below. And for now, she waits, rocking gently in the dusk, ready for the next chapter. Moonlight was really born when I was about 16. I was sailing with a mate under a full moon off the Hazards. Something about that night stuck with me. The name came later, but the idea was planted right there. About 5 years on, I started building her. Copper rivets, clenched by hand, Oregon spars, a shed full of borrowed tools and hopeful ambition. This video brings together some of the best sailing that she's done in sheltered waters off Queensland. Places like Sandy Strait, Noosa River, Palmerston Passage, all the quiet corners. We're raising sail again soon, this time in Tasmania, but for now, here's where she's been. Everyone loves the maintenance segments. You know, those satisfying little time lapses when things get fixed, sanded, varnished. What you see condensed into 5 soothing seconds usually takes the better part of an afternoon or even a weekend, or in one memorable case, an entire Easter break. A ding or two here and there, a snap cleat, something mysteriously missing, like the tiller, which was last seen resting on the trailer mudguard at Maroochydore. It enjoyed a short but eventful career as a missile on the Bruce Highway, so I made a new one out of hew and pine, salvaged from Denise's old bed. Lovely timber, full of character. I told her very convincingly that the bed didn't need all of its bits. Just decorative, I said, not essential, hidden behind the mattress. And it was, until I lay down on the bed and the whole thing folded like a lawn chair in a gale. Denise didn't say a word, just looked at me, slowly sipped her tea and muttered, "I hope it's a good tiller." And actually, it is glorious. Much of our time in Moonlight up on southeast Queensland coast was spent drifting through the Great Sandy Strait. Sometimes it was wild and tumultuous, but more often it was calm and serene. Come with me on a relaxing journey across the strait from Hervey Bay to Fraser Island. We made our way up to Mackenzie Jetty, once the site of a secret World War II commando training camp. From here, 2 raids on Singapore were launched. The first was a success, and the second ended in tragedy.
Every time you show up smiling, you got me. Never knew how you played along. When the time comes and you're beside me, it's all I dream about, building a home. Staring up at the moon, knowing that you'll be here soon. Thank God I have you as mine. Can feel that tingle down my spine. You kick off your shoes, but you're not in a hurry. Sing as you walk and jumping up in the air. You hold me tight and say that you love me. Every thought that I have just got blown away. Staring up at the moon, knowing that you'll be here soon. Thank God I have you as mine. Can feel that tingle down my spine. Future looks great and I'm holding on tight. Breakfast served every morning, every night.
Moonlight had never been in a race. That is until we were invited to join the Gaffers race at the Noosa River. Now technically she's a gunter rig, not a gaff, but they let us join in anyway, and if there was any advantage to our 3-sided sail, well, it certainly didn't show in the results. We politely finished last every time.
Staring up at the moon, knowing that you'll be here soon. Thank God I have you as mine.
Moonlight had 13 years on the Sunshine Coast we were there, and has since been sitting in a shed at Gympie for the last 2 years. During that time, there were a lot of firsts for Moonlight, including rowing. She was originally designed as a scout boat, and as such she had 2 rowing positions, one forward and one aft. It's actually rare for me to row her in a conventional fashion. Usually I sit on the stern thwart and push because I find it easier on my back. Time now for a bit of passage planning. I use two main tools to plan my little journeys. One is Navionics and the other one is Predict Wind. Predict Wind is a great tool for anybody who's into any form of boating whatsoever, and it's a great friend of the cruising dinghy sailor. This well won't affect us too much apart from right in the mouth of the river, and there could be a few waves rolling in there. You've got to watch that on the sandbars. And then we're expecting about 20 knots. And then this is the gust strength, so you can see that it's got to be prepared for the occasional breeze, the occasional gust up to about 26 knots. And even worse as you get out to sea. I'll just show you that weather system there that's working its way down. So it's quite significant. This grey area here is about 55 knots, round about 100 kilometres an hour. The Maroochy River was a place that we frequently visited. Getting a pretty early start this morning. There's a few deterrents for competition on the boat ramp. They don't like it when it's windy. They don't like it when it's raining. There's a cyclone working its way up and down the coast. Definitely should put a reef in today. It's already picking up quite a bit. Now to launch. So now we've cleared the point there. See those the surf rolling in from the head there. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the spray just combing off the top of those big swells as they're coming in over at Cotton Tree there. We're heading off on one of the most memorable trips in Moonlight during our time on the Sunshine Coast, up to the Noosa Everglades. They're named after their Floridian counterpart. These waters are calm, winding and wonderfully serene. There are no noisy outboards allowed in the upper reaches, just the sound of oars, birdsong and the occasional flap of canvas that I was about to introduce. This trip marked 40 years since we built Moonlight back on the shores of Lake Trevelyan. A quiet celebration in a place that felt just as timeless. It's sad but true, everything born is destined for dust. Business, health, relationships, none are immune to the pull of chaos and entropy. It was around this time that my wife began to show the cruel signs of Parkinson's disease, a slow, relentless thief. Over time, it would take a heavy toll on her mobility and her mind. And yet she remains the same kind soul who forgave my many failings and never once hesitated to man the winch on the trailer when I needed her. This journey became something more than a sailing trip. It was a kind of a pilgrimage through memories, through grief, and through grace. They say the glory of God can be found all around us, even in the darkest valleys and the harshest trials. For me, this quiet journey through one of nature's most beautiful places was a moment to pause and to draw strength. I want to take a moment now, just as I did at the start of this journey into the Everglades, to pause, to breathe, and to reflect on the words of Grace Kelly, "The land time forgot." Maybe you're facing something right now, one of those challenges that feels impossible to resolve, too heavy to carry, or too complex to navigate alone. If that's you, I hope that these quiet waters and these gentle words bring strength, because we're not meant to face life's hardest passages in isolation. Let this place and this moment remind us we draw strength not just from nature, but from one another. Now, this trip took place right in the thick of COVID chaos, when everything was locked down, locked out, fenced off, shut up, or otherwise forbidden. But the river was still fine. I found a lovely little campsite, technically restricted to just one camper, despite there being enough there to host a music festival. So I landed, stayed a day and a night, and when no one turned up by 5:30 the next evening, I thought, well, why not? I'll stay another. Naturally, just as I was settling in with dinner and a smug sense of solitude, 2 kayaks appeared in the twilight, paddling upstream, with the quiet fury of people who had booked in advance. Long story short, I packed up, pushed off, and spent the night tied up to a couple of logs downstream, in perfect serenity, total isolation, and technically still not doing anything wrong.
I closed a chapter to chase what I'm after, and you always knew that I'd leave. And I've still got big plans, I don't think I'd change that. But last night when I was fast asleep, well, I had a dream that I stayed in Milwaukee and we'd do crosswords with coffee every Sunday before noon. And sometimes I wonder if you'd ever call me back. Well, I could have been happy doing taxes and laundry with you. My greatest fear is no one will see me the way that you did at 23. And that old apartment on the corner of Astor, well, that is the chapter I keep wanting to reread. But am I reading in too deep? Do you ever think of me? 'Cause I had a dream that I stayed in Milwaukee and we do crosswords with coffee every Sunday before noon. Sometimes I wonder if you ever call me back. Well, I could have been happy doing taxes and laundry with you. And every memory we made by mistake stays with me. And they could be some of the best ones I've ever made. And I wouldn't change anything. But I had a dream that I stayed in Milwaukee and we'd do crosswords with coffee every Sunday before noon. And sometimes I wonder if you ever call me back. Well, I could have been happy doing taxes and laundry with you.
Sarah Ann only went in the water once during her entire time in Queensland. When she turned up on my front lawn, looking thoroughly out of place, I realised it was time. It was time to get both of the ladies in my life back to Tasmania, but I could only tow one boat, and I chose Sarah Ann, which brings me to a heartfelt thank you to everyone supporting Moonlight's return through PayPal, Patreon, book sales, and even super thanks on YouTube. You're making it possible to bring her home. I honestly couldn't keep making these videos without your help. Your support means more than I can say, and from the depth of my heart, thank you. Not sure if you can see Sarah Ann just up there, following very closely behind us and behaving herself very well indeed. Moonlight will be doing the same trip overland and then across Bass Strait and then across to Launceston in Tasmania that I did with Sarah Ann. We got off the Newell Highway, which was like a roller coaster. It's all been chewed up with a stump muncher. We're about 1,200 kilometres into our 1,800 kilometre journey. It's about 2,400 kilometres in total, including the leg across Bass Strait on the Spirit of Tasmania. After that, I'll be doing a series of videos in Tasmania, sailing Moonlight around some of Tasmania's beautiful sheltered waters. Thanks for coming on the journey with me.